Svalbard is pretty much on everybody's bucket list. Once you have seen a picture of Svalbard, it will capture your imagination, and one day in your life you want to be there. With its harsh climate, rough mountains and permafrost ground, little vegetation, and the overall glacier coverage, it really shows off its beauty and roughness for that matter. Outside of the settlement, you are required at all times to wear a rifle due to polar bear risks, and it's very rough to get around. Either you take a boat to a certain place, go on shore and start hiking from there. You're hiking from the settlements itself, or in the winter go by snowmobile, ski or dog sled. For the 2.5 years I was living on Svalbard, I camped out, I lived in a remote cabin, I also lived inside town. But the most important thing was my dogs, that I always spent time with them. And that was pretty much all I did, was spending time with my dogs, even if I was out on tourist tours, because at least one of my dogs was always present with me. Also driving around town with a car, there was always a dog with me. And quite frankly, that hasn't changed much since then.
Okay. Holy shit! That got deep. Ugh. Yep, guys, come on, yep. Yep. Yep, come on guys, yep. There you go. Good boys.
Although I was training the dogs the whole year round, also during summertime with cart, ATV or car for that matter, I was also hiking quite a bit with them. Just being out by myself, just taking one of the guys with me and exploring some new areas and whatnot, or being out with the guests as well, which not only was for polar bear protection but also for company. Not only for myself, but also for guests, which they usually quite enjoyed. Even people that had a fear of dogs really appreciated the calmness of Malamutes that I have. And since they didn't approach the people with fear like head on, they just hung around, so people saw how I interacted with them, could interact a little bit with them in their own pace, and just spending time with them. Just being around and just enjoying the company, basically. But the most important time of the year definitely is springtime for exploring the area, which of course means dog sled. I love the change between styles of dog sledding. Not just the traditional, in brackets, style that everybody is doing nowadays on tight trails and whatnot, where you just stand in the back and steer the sled via voice command obviously, but also with a brake. I prefer the more traditional style still used on Greenland and also in northern Canada, which basically means that you have a bigger style sled and just sit on it. So what you do is you just give voice commands and you create a really, really nice bond with the dogs, because obviously they have to really react to your commands to be able to do this type of dog sledding. Stopping was pretty easy. You said, "Oh," and then they stopped. And those kind of things you obviously have to establish during summertime. But also create a bond with the dogs. That's the most important part. But the most beautiful part for myself was when I packed up this type of sled, strapped on some skis, and just went out for several days. So I basically just skied next to the dogs, helping them by just, taking load off, because I skied for myself. But sometimes I even had to take off my skis when it got pretty tough to get up a hill or something, and just hook myself into the gang line and just help them pulling the whole shenanigan up. Sometimes it was even that I had to take off some load, go up one time, then we had to come down and take the second load. In particular, when we established a campsite for a 1-week ski expedition, for example, then I had to haul up quite a lot of stuff to glaciers that were inaccessible via snowmobile. So the dogs and I, we had quite a lot of work on that matter. But it was awesome, because it was not only something different, but it's something that you really work together as a team, and that is the most enjoyable part of this whole adventure that Svalbard gave me and the dogs, And I do miss those times. And that's the downside on certain times of the year, is that you think back, and you think like, I wish I would be up there right now. And obviously, I will be. March, April, May is a beautiful time there, and sharing that with clients is just amazing. It's just amazing to be there and exploring the area, no matter what kind of wind or temperatures or what have you you're gonna get. It's just an amazing landscape that is wide open. You have beautiful views, and you're just spending time with the dogs.